Well, hello there, and welcome back. Welcome back to me. Thank you for tuning in. I have been away on adventure again. So it's Yvonne here, founder and CEO of Women's Fitness Adventures. I have just finished our 11th year of hiking the Great Ocean Walk in Victoria, in Australia. So it's an iconic 100-kilometre walk or hike, I should say. And I've now done it. I think it's about maybe 9 times myself, and I just love it, and each time the trail delivers something, um, unique to each and every, group that I take through that trail, and I love it, and because I've done it so often, I know where our pinch points are, I know um, the spots where we need to move a little faster, where we can slow down, I know the great picnic spots, I know what to look out for and when, and of course, I share the history and the stories as well. So it is just such a wonderful adventure. We stay in some great accommodation options and the partners that we've had for those 11 years. So it's really nice. It's like going home every year. So if you're watching this live, please say hello. If you're watching on replay, please comment as well. Hello, Jelena, and hello, Karen from Brisbane and from Claremont. So if you are watching and haven't identified yourself, please go ahead and say hi. I'd love to know where you're watching from. So if you are a member, you would have seen that we are now starting to put our expressions of interest onto our website for our adventures for next year. We still have some places for some adventures this year. Our Outback Queensland one is the next one that we have in July, that has spaces. Our Murray River in August, which has 1 spot left, and of course our Kangaroo Island, which has a couple of spots left in October. But then we're putting some of our adventures for next year onto the website. I'll try and get more on by the end of this week, and and have those details out for you soon. But so be sure to look out for them because there's lots of great things on there, some new adventures, and we're doubling up. As in one with a little mini break in between and then another, and you're welcome to travel with the leader on that mini break because they are all international. So let me just say hello to Sue. Hello, Sue. I do hope we'll see you on our Great Ocean Road hike next year. Be sure to put your expression of interest in on the website. Hello, Paula. Hello, Alison from Claremont. So we've got another Claremont. I wonder if you two know each other. Hello, Lynn from Tweed Heads, and hello, Fiona from Western Sydney watching us on YouTube, and hello, Leonie from Gympie. So we had a most fabulous time last week, and I was asked, and I'll repeat this because it was such a great question, is now that I've finished or I hadn't quite finished my adventure, how do I stay adventure ready? Or how do I stay fit, or what do I need to do for my next adventure, even though I may not have one adventure booked in? And one of the things, and it was such a great question, one of the things that's really important to consider whether you have an adventure booked in or not is, you worked so hard to get to the level of fitness that you did for the multi-day hike that you were on, is that you don't want to lose that. And the most important thing is to connect with something else. So we've been running, and how do I know this and how do I know what works? Is we've been running a program called Couch to Mountain, and some of you may have done our Couch to Mountain program, and it is coming up again. If you're interested, we have a webinar coming up very soon, so please let me know. But we've been running this Couch to Mountain program for 4 years. We're now in our 5th year, and we did some independent research on our Couch to Mountain participants for over a couple of years and asked them anonymously a whole lot of questions around health and wellness and commitment and participation and time for themselves. And what we found, and we know this anecdotally as well from our 11 years of running adventures, is that those women who have been on a multi-day adventure and then connect to another goal either before they've finished that adventure or immediately after or within a very short time frame afterwards, or have that 150% certainty that they're going to within that short time frame, are more likely to maintain and start exceeding the level of fitness that they had when they were on the multi-day hike. Now, what does that mean? What does that look like? So we sit here and we train for a multi-day hike, or we train for an event. If I take it out of the hiking context, let's say we have a family wedding that we need to go to, and we know that we're going to be in those formal family pictures, and we want to look our very best because they're pictures that will remain for eternity. And so we get ourselves in the best physical shape that we can possibly do. And then after that event happens, we don't have anything else that we need to maintain ourselves for. So we kind of drop off some of those great habits and perhaps healthy lifestyle things that we had implemented to get ready for that photographic and that big event day. And so you can apply the same principles to hiking and our hiking fitness and our multi-day adventures. So we work really, really hard, most of us, most of the time, um, before it becomes a habit. So we only have to work hard until it becomes a habit. So we work really hard to get ourselves to a point where um, training, hiking, this movement, regular, consistent movement over the course of the week becomes a habit. And then it becomes, we don't have to prioritize it because it's now embedded into our lifestyle. And we get fitter, and we feel stronger inside ourselves. We feel more confident, and this beautiful cycle of belief and confidence starts to fuel our world. And we go away on the adventure, and we know that we've done enough work, and we all successfully get through the adventure. We followed the training plan, or we're halfway through the adventure and think, I want to do this again, or I want to do something like this. I don't know what it is. And you book on, or you think about booking on. They're the women in our world, from both, independent, qualitative and quantitative research, and our own anecdotal research. They are the women that maintain and exceed their level of fitness going into the next adventure. Those who didn't reconnect with another goal, and those who didn't, or who somehow, just like the photograph day at that big event, a big family event, that had nothing left to hook into, or nothing chosen to hook into, came right back down the ladder to be in the very position that they were in when they started to build the habits, and they started to build the patterns and the behaviors of the training and the commitment to self, to get ready for the hiking adventure. So they sat here in this very place wishing they were here. They got to here, then didn't reconnect with anything that would keep pulling them forward to maintain them at that adventure ready level. So perhaps you can relate to that. If you can relate to that either way, whether you have, done a multi-day hike and then found yourself booked into another one because you wanted to keep that momentum going, or you did a multi-day hike, really wanted to keep the fitness going, but you hadn't connected into anything, whatever that might be, and you found that other things crept in so that you couldn't maintain your level of hiking fitness so that you were adventure ready. So if you have a story that you would like to share, or a comment about that, please go ahead and drop that in the comments there while I say hello to Karen and Sandra and Kerry. Hi, Kerry, and Sandy and Anne. So one of the other things is, when we talk about our hiking fitness and we talk about being adventure ready, is that we think that it is all about um, just hiking, and we have to be out walking, and we need these hours of time devoted, just to being out in the fields, so to speak, so that we can remain adventure ready. And so when the question was asked last week on the Great Ocean Road of, what sort of things do I need to do? I'm on the adventure now. I'd like to do one. It's not ready to book into yet. What sort of things do I need to do to maintain my level of fitness? And here's the things that I shared. And I know this because this works for me, it works for our leaders, and it works for most of our members who are regulars on our multi-day adventures. Now, I can't speak for other companies, but this certainly works for most women I know, somewhere over 40, who like to do multi-day hiking, who have multiple things going on in their life, such as work, family, that very nurturing aspect, everything, managing a household, all those things that we do as women, is that I'll come back to your question in a moment, Fiona, is that you don't have to hike all the time. You need to be regular hiking, but that could be a once a week or once a fortnight hiking. What we really need to do is we need to hook into some cardio, but it doesn't have to be hours and hours of running or anything like that. It can be short, sharp bursts of cardio. What we need to do is a combination of our hikes, just once or twice a month, and as you get ready for your next adventure, that builds up. It also needs to be the cardio, so that could be some stairs, that could be hills built into every day when we're walking around town, when we're walking around our suburb, if we're out in on a farm and there aren't any hills, it's finding, and Karen from Claremont knows this, it's finding those tree stumps to step onto. It's finding those, little challenges that you can create for yourself. But perhaps the most important thing to do is to focus on strength training. So what we want to do, and especially as we start to, put those years of our 20s behind us, is we really need to keep movement at the forefront of every day. And it can get hard to do movement, especially if we have desk jobs. I know myself that I have, over the course of the last couple of years, the administration side of running a business has become a whole lot more. So I'm not, even though I run and I hike and I do all sorts of things, I'm not as active as I used to be. And I can sense that. So what I need to do, along with, I practice what I preach, is to do strength training. So to build muscle or maintain muscle, we all want to build muscle, especially as women when we get older, to maintain our joints so that we can do all of these things that we do. My sister-in-law has a great saying, motion is your lotion. So movement is what keeps us moving, but it keeps us being able to bend and stretch and reach for the stars. So there should be at least 2 sessions of strength training in your program, in your daily life. I call it your program, in your daily life a week. There should be, you can mix that up with cardio as well, anything that gets you puffed. And you can also use your hike sessions when you're out on the trail with a backpack as a weight training session as well, because it is loaded in there. But any movement that you can do, and regular consistent movement, is part, so much part of the way to maintaining your adventure ready fitness. And you will know if you've been on a multi-day adventure, and yes, you do need days for recovery. And for those of you who are watching, who were with me last week on Great Ocean Road, I trust that you're pretty tired today. I'm tired. Actually, I'm quite exhausted, not physically, just drained from the emotion and the joy and the exhilaration and, the physical challenge of a 100-kilometer hike. And even though we stayed in beautiful accommodation and everything, that day after day hiking was fabulous for your body. Your body does need to rest and recharge as well. We can't go all the time. When we rest and recover, we give our body the chance to reset. We give it an opportunity for the muscles to grow and to strengthen as well, and then we can go on our journey again. So really important that we have this over the course of a week. After once we have finished a multi-day hike and we're looking for our next one, or we're booked onto our next one, and it might be a long way off, to maintain that momentum is over the course of the week, prioritize you and your health and your movement, and that will go a long, long way to you being adventure ready. Now, I'm going to jump back to the research in a minute that we did that will help explain that a whole lot more. Fiona asked, do we have any day hikes around Sydney or groups I can belong to? I like the idea of groups to keep momentum going. So we do have, Sandra, we have, Fiona, sorry. Sandra made me think of you. Inside, we have members who are from all across Australia, and across the world. We've got a couple. And they get together regularly into groups, which I'm not part of. but they do get together and do regular hikes. So that's something that we can direct you to should you decide to join our community, but we don't do that outside of our community. So that is the answer to that. Hello, Rosie from Mount Isa. Nice to see you, Rosie, and hello, Barbara, as well. So when I come back to the research from our Couch to Mountain program and how we maintain this momentum for multi-day hiking, I know that, so Couch to Mountain starts again soon. That, you know, there's 100 or so women who have gone through our Couch to Mountain program and successfully summited Mount Kosciuszko through our training programs. And I know that of those who booked into an ongoing multi-day adventure or had some hook down the track for them to book into, have gone on and maintained that level of fitness, if not improved it. They have maintained their hiking skills. They have increased overall their amount of minutes per week that they spend on their fitness and on themselves. They've also so on the physical side, there's so many great changes. And made themselves a priority. But on the mental health side, that commitment through focus on training, through focus on time to self, has resulted in a boost in confidence. It has resulted in a change of habits and behavior. It has boosted self-esteem. It has allowed women or given our participants the opportunity to put themselves first, which is really, really hard when we're, as women, trying to put everybody else second. So, and we know that those who but somehow the elements of life, which happens to us all, that ebb and flow of sometimes we can devote a lot of time to ourselves and sometimes that opportunity isn't there as we want it to be, did lose some of that fitness and did lose some of that focus, but they didn't lose the benefits of having trained for a multi-day hike, which it gave them for their health. And, you know, some lost some weight, some came off medication, some, you know, got what they needed from programs as well. But if the question is, how do I maintain my fitness before my next multi-day hike, is the training that you did for the hike that you completed has given you the skills, it's given you the consistency and the habits, it's given you the mindset, it's given you the rituals around which to just keep building on for your next multi-day adventure. So if that is helpful to anyone, the answer in a nutshell is you just need to keep moving. So what it also does is, you know, for first-time hikers or for a multi-day hike that you haven't done before, or perhaps haven't done with or you've done lots of multi-day hiking but haven't done with a group of people that you know, is there, along with that comes a lot of anxiety. And with a lot of anxiety, you know, and that's a relative scale because, you know, someone who doesn't worry about anything might have this element of what if, will they, how about, all those questions. And someone who is a worrier and has a laundry list of worries, you know, that anxiety of will I be fit in, all those sorts of things. If we maintain that level of fitness, then the thing that we don't have to think about is our fitness. And I know that one of the ladies who was on the adventure last week, who's watching tonight, she was so committed to her training. I just loved it. Did not miss a training session, traveled quite a way to the training sessions as well. And, you know, she didn't have to think each day. She didn't have to use that mental energy on the days on the trail of thinking, am I fit enough? Because she had maintained and built some fabulous habits that got her fitness to where it is. So the next time she's just commented, the next time, and she is booked into a hike with us next year, you know, she's got this level of fitness. So Leonie, I'm going to share your story here. So Leonie was with us on the hike last week. Leonie travels a couple of hours each month to come and do hike training with us. She says, I have rested for the last 2 days after our Great Ocean Walk hike. and now looking forward to staying fit as I look towards New Zealand, which is in February next year. I also know what extra work I need with cardio and my overall strength. And that's a great, and thank you so much for sharing that, Leonie. And that's a great feedback loop that we give ourselves, because Leonie could do our New Zealand hike tomorrow. Her fitness is well enough. But when we have what our one of our members, Dorothy, terms is friendly fear, that just keeps pulling us forward, so that we don't become complacent. We don't think, oh, I'm fit enough, and then wake up one day and haven't done anything and go, actually, I'm not fit enough, and now I have to start again from scratch. So it also, by staying fit between adventures, it helps, us book spontaneously onto things, those last minute booking opportunities that come along for anything. Or if a friend says to you, hey, do you want to do this? You're ready. You can go, yeah, I'm ready. It's, I haven't trained, I haven't done this, I haven't done that. Whether that's a day hike or whether that's a multi-day adventure, just being ready for that. So as I said, it's a consistent movement. It's a balanced routine. It is finding, or not finding, just creating that lifestyle for you. If multi-day hiking is part of your lifestyle, it's creating that lifestyle for you. And I know Ellen is on here, and Ellen's on holidays, I think, but making time wherever she is on her holidays to fit in her hiking and her fitness goals. And so it becomes just part of us. And I was chatting with one of our leaders today, and she said it's just non-negotiable for her. It's just, the standard of what she needs to do every day is find 45 minutes of time for movement for her. And we all know when we move, we feel so much better. But how do we stay motivated to do that? It's easy to say, oh, Yvonne, it's easy for you to say, because you're out on the trails all the time. But how do you stay motivated if you think you want to do something but haven't quite figured it out what it is you want to do yet? Or, your next adventure is months and months and months away, which it can be depending where you're going and what you're planning. So the key is to set some little mini goals behind that. So if part of your training is a local hill that you have, and you get up that local hill 5 times in an hour, then your mini goal could be within 2 months, I'm going to get up that hill, 7 times in the same time frame. Or I'm going to, get up that hill and shave 20, 15 minutes off the time that it normally takes me to do 5 or 15 or however many it might be. The other thing, and Fiona asked that question as well, having a group or an accountability buddy to, bring you along on that. Because when you're in a group, if one of you is feeling great, you can generally, you know, get others rallied to feel great as well. Or if someone's feeling down or demotivated, it doesn't take much for the rest of the companions in the group to really lift the spirits of someone and bring them back to that, present place and focus on, why am I here? What am I doing? And one of the things that, I find within all of our adventures, and was very evident last week, is, that that support and camaraderie and commitment to team where everyone succeeds. And that is starting to happen more and more and more right from the get-go when, women book onto our adventures and have the private Facebook group, is that the commitment to each other from the very beginning and the willingness for everyone to succeed is really high. And that's the most important thing. But the other thing to keep our motivation going is to celebrate our small wins. And we were chatting today, and Jelena is on here. And, sometimes we have setbacks that are beyond our control. And it's what we do with those setbacks that determine our character and determine our strength and our focus. And sometimes the setback, it's really easy to say, well, that's it, I'm out. And sometimes, well, I know, and there's this great book out there called, and it's so hard to get them now though, called The Harder Choice. And the harder choice is always the right choice. And we were chatting as a family about that last night. It's the Tim Tam over the apple. What's the harder choice? The apple, but we know it's the better choice or the right choice for us. But sometimes, when we have these setbacks, we may not be going back to scratch to square one, but we think we can, depending on what it is, we can catastrophize it. But what we need to remember to keep the momentum and the motivation is that it's all about the overall gain. And so one of the ladies who was on our hike last week, had done the hike 10 years ago as her very first hike, not with us, just with a group of friends. And it was her first step into multi-day hiking. And she said that was the thing where she found a company like ours and decided that, well, not a company, it's really a community like ours, and has hiked with us ever since. And it was that one decision that, when we chatted about it, was a decision that unfolded a decade of great health. And had she not made that one decision to step into her health, to step into, one thing that made her feel good, then her life could have gone in a very different direction. We certainly may not have met her. But when we have a setback, we can have that one decision to go, oh, it's all too hard, I'm going to step away. Or we can have that outlook of, well, this is just a setback. Look at how far I've come in the last 2 years, 5 years, 10 years, 6 months. Whether that is in terms of our physical, our mental, our mindset, our conversations that we have with ourselves, our daily habits. To keep the motivation, we need to celebrate those small wins. Last week I couldn't do X and now I can. Last year I couldn't do this and now I can. And I think we all forget that because we are so focused and our world is so focused on what we need to do looking forward. So, that will really help with the motivation as well. And for those of you who did the Great Ocean Road hike last week, don't ever forget what an achievement hiking 100 kilometers in a week is. It is huge. And, if you're thinking, oh, I should have, I could have, I would have, you did something pretty amazing, and lean on that, draw on that as you go forward. So some of the pitfalls that can happen after a multi-day adventure, though, in terms of how we feel and what we do, is always the post-adventure blues. And we're probably sitting in it right now, where for those of us who were on the trail last week would rather be anywhere than sitting at our desk, longing for the trail. And probably as we get over the tiredness of yesterday and today, by tomorrow, when routine really settles in again, it's like, oh, I have these beautiful memories. And this time last week I was walking on the trail and I'd love to be out walking on the trail again. So it's easy to lose motivation when you're tired. It's easy to lose motivation or direction when you don't have a goal to book into. So join into hook into some sessions, hook into things where people are talking about adventure and hiking and learning and skills and gear and equipment and all those sorts of things, because they can help with the motivation. Learn about your body, learn about balance, get into stretching, all of those things, because every little thing she does is magic. There you go, Leonie. But everything that you do that gives you more knowledge or skills or strengthens the mindset really helps you for a multi-day adventure as well. So, the takeaway to always being adventure ready is to always be active, is to build that daily movement into your life, to factor in into your week, to factor in a hike a week or a couple of hikes a month, to make sure there's some cardio and stairs and hills in there, and to make sure that there is some strength training as well. And always surround yourself with people that are outdoorsy and active and willing to want to go with you on a hike, or want to go explore something new, or challenge your mindset, or you challenge theirs, but aren't, oh no, I couldn't be bothered, oh no, that it's raining, it's wet, it's this or that, I'm too tired, I'm too this, I'm too that. They will drain you. So find the community, and we're lucky inside Women's Fitness Adventures that we have that. Find the community, find the people, find the accountability, find the fun, and that will drag you forward to being adventure ready. And if I know, Lynn, just keep looking on the website. It won't be long till those ones for next year are ready to book into. But, once you have the skill and the mindset and the adventure bug, or multi-day hiking bug, it's really, really important that you've always got something to look forward to. Even us as leaders who do, whoopsie, my desk is a mess, who do lots of adventures a year, it's really important for us to come home, celebrate, reset, appreciate, take time, take moments to recharge and appreciate all that our body could do, all that our mind could do, all that we had achieved to get to that hike. And then once we let that settle and we close that beautiful circle of that adventure, we just loop to here's the circle, it's completed, and we loop forward to go to make our next circle. So that's how we maintain our fitness, always being active so that we can always be adventure ready. So that is it from me. I do hope you've enjoyed today's session. I'll be back next week. And who knows what I'm going to talk about then. So catch you then, and thanks for listening. Bye.